Yo, what's going on? This is Priest. I had a platform on Facebook channel before. I'm trying to change that now over to the YouTube platform. I had a few friends that used to watch me go live, and we sit down and interact and talk. Talk about BDSM. Some of the benefits, some of the positive, and trying to bring the life back to its greater days. What's going on, Miss? How you doing? I'm a practitioner for many, many years, close to 25 years now. I love the many factions of BDSM. I look at the leather community as one of the beginnings, brought over from the wars and the travelers from overseas over to the U.S. Much respect to all those who served way back and all of those who serve now. Um, my other platform, I used to speak of all of the bad dominance and the fakes and this whole new generation of BDSMers who found it when it came to light via, I won't mention the name of the book series, but God, it brought so many fakes that followed that story, and that's what they believe it to be. Although BDSM has a lot to do with self interpretation, it also has to do a lot with the rules from way, way, way back when. Pay homage and learn those rules, and don't just try to change them and bend them to make it what it is that you want it to be. Matter of fact, shout out to the leather maker that I go to now. I met him a few years ago, knew he was into BDSM, but I didn't have time to get out there and see him. Been trying to play catch up with him. He's a leather maker locally here in Columbia, South Carolina. He's also on Etsy. I believe Wetter Works Leather Shop. Should be on Etsy, and you can find him here locally in Columbia, South Carolina. Does great work. One of the toys and gifts that I found at his shop today was a flogger. Just many falls. I don't know how many falls, but I love it. The wood that was made to it. The handle is nice and heavy. But those falls, the weight of so many falls is it's a thing of beauty in my eyes. So shout out to Weatherworks Leather Shop and his creations. I will be back, my friend. I will be back. I don't want to harp on all of the fakes and phonies out there. I do want to, yes, that flogger can be used in many ways. I want to let you guys know a little bit about me. I've been practicing for 20 years, over 20 years. I started out as someone who found rough sex and wanted to learn more. I took it upon myself to go and start studying sexual therapy. No college courses. At this point in time, I was hitting Barnes and Nobles and any bookstore that I can find something to help me learn more about this rough sex thing, or so I thought it was. Excuse me. As I started to learn more, I found out that there was a culture, a great many people who loved the rougher sides of intimacy and sex. Because at first I was taught to never hit a woman. And I've told this story many times, but this is a true story. I was dating an older woman who during sex wanted me to smack her. And I'm thinking the way I grew up and the way I was raised and taught was you're not supposed to hit a woman because you're a man. And I'm in the bed and I'm getting it in, and she said, smack me. And I looked at her funny and I just kept doing what I was doing. So she said, smack me. And I gave it a little tap on the face. And she looked at me and she said, stop hitting me like a bitch. You hit like a bitch. Me being who I was at that point in time, fuck you calling a bitch. And I hauled off. Wow. And I mean, I lit up one side of her face and it turned bright red. And as that slap came across her face, she screamed, I'm coming, like I've never heard anyone scream, I'm coming. And I was so excited and so it did something to me. So I actually went out and started studying the sexual therapy. And as I said, I found the whole B.D.S.M community, the world of B.D.S.M. Made me study more. I interviewed people. I needed to know about this life. And it never left me from that point on. Just a hunger grew in me to keep finding out more and more and more about BDSM. I found out there's a wrong way to do it and a right way to do it. When you're not practicing all of the safety rules, you're doing it wrong. No matter who you are, no matter how long you've been practicing. If you're not practicing safely, then you're one of those dominants that I've always talked about that don't need to claim that title. To me, you're a menace to society. If you're hitting people in the kidneys, you're using blunt objects across the spine, you're hitting people in the tailbone with the paddle, you're tying knots in joints where you can cut off blood circulation. You're one of those people that I refer to as a danger to the communities of BDSM and the culture. Many people won't like what I'm saying, and I understand why. If you're not practicing safely, and who am I to challenge you on your interpretation of BDSM? As I just said, it is self-interpreted. Self-interpretive, yeah. Um, I hoped and prayed during my other lives on another platform that I was able to help people. And some people actually reached out to me and said thank you because it was very helpful. And I hope to keep doing so here. I will be doing demonstrations, but I'm not just going to use this platform to show who I am. This is my introduction to many people that I've never met. I know I may be judged. I may have the whole we don't know you. We don't trust you. Who are you to judge others? I'm just me. I'm not the BDSM police. I'm not the BDSM gods. I'm not royalty by any shape or means, but I am someone who's deeply concerned and deeply loves a lifestyle that I'm not going to stop living at this age and this point in time in my life. Um, for those of you who are new to me, I'm a master within the BDSM communities. I am known somewhat in the POC and I'm known somewhat in the Caucasian um, arena here in South Carolina, the realms of BDSM. Um, you won't just be seeing me here. This is, as I said, my introduction. So I'm going to be bringing a few people to interview onto my posts. interview them live so you guys can see me talk to them. You can hear their points of views. We can share and throw things back and forth. You can ask them questions. You can ask me questions. Um, Many will be local. Some I'll be visiting other states to get to know people. One of my Facebook friends, Nikki Darling, love you to death. I'll be reaching out to you. One of my elders over in the West Coast, Sir Leon Strange is I wouldn't say friend, but I would love to say friend. And at some point in time, I hope to become a friend of his who has a wealth of knowledge. My mentor, who is covered in leather, Master Jan, a friend of mine's, locally here in the communities, the BDSM community. Master Brian, I'm going to reach out to these people and talk to them just so you can see the point of views of everyone, of others, not just myself. Many of them won't agree with everything that I say. So don't think that my word is law. It's not. I'm not the gods of BDSM. I don't have the 10 commandments. I'm not walking up any mountains, bringing down two pillars with commandments for you to follow within BDSM. To be honest with you, anything that you practice within BDSM, I hope and pray you practice safely. I hope and pray that you find a D type or an S type that is a match for you, not just someone that you're physically attracted to. Um, BDSM is mental and emotional as well as physical. Please don't just think that, it's I'm gonna smack some ass and we gonna have sex, and it's not really that. You can have entire scenes for days without having sex, months, years. It's many factions to BDSM. You have Gorean, which is how can I put this politically correct? It's based on a series of books. Now those books are based in outer space, but anything that can be practiced in the book can be practiced here on Earth. We'll just say it that way. I have my opinions on gore, but there are some pieces from gore that I actually practice myself within my teachings of BDSM. What else? Let me see. There's the leather community, as I mentioned. I salute all those that fought for this country. And I salute all those that are still fighting for this country. Thank you. You are greatly appreciated. Um, and I need to stop saying but I just wanted to keep talking to you guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. I'm going to go back to my other platform and let them know that this window to me is now open. I'm going to stop using the other platform because now I have a larger area, a larger venue to sit down and talk. I know it's a lot of people that will have questions and opinions, and I'm looking forward to hearing them so I can answer them from my point of view. Um, Please also be aware practitioners do not need to do things wrong because of legal issues that may come up within the U.S. Those who practice abroad in other areas, it may be legal there. Please be conscious of your legal rights here in the U.S. Be aware. Be very aware. This isn't something practiced legally here in the U.S. You are not backed by the courts. You are not backed by the system. Anything you do is on your own here. So, with that being said, I'm very safety conscious about what we do in BDSM, physically, mentally, and emotionally. You can be damaged within BDSM if something is done wrong, if someone is not practicing safely. Um, at one point in my life, I was actually speaking on another platform and I said something about the different forms of choking someone: a blood choke and an air choke. Someone who said they were 10 to 15 years practitioner said there's no such thing as a blood choke or an air choke, it's just a choke. For many of you who do not know, there is a big difference between a blood choke and an air choke. An air choke comes straight across your throat, which could crush this right here, possibly killing you. That's an air choke. Blood choke is pressing on the sides, the two arteries there, causing the oxygen flow to be cut to the brain, which causes you possibly to pass out if done too long. Now, with that being said, that's a blood choke. Cut off the blood supply, which cuts off the oxygen supply, which is safe because I'm no longer pressing anything right here. This can render you unconscious. This can actually kill you. Blood choke, air choke. Yeah, you want to stay away from the air choke. Um, Also, restraints. And we'll go through that in different points in time. As I said, I'm going to have some people come and do some demonstrations so we can learn how to do this safely. I'm not the guru, I'm not the God. Even I learn from others. I was speaking to someone yesterday, actually, who said they don't have a great pain tolerance and they're more on the sensual forms of BDSM. Yes, Miss Sky, you are correct. Um, so you have different variations and different ways you can go with BDSM. It can be very sensual, no pain involved at all. Then it can be very painful. Some people who love pain will tend to go towards the extreme side, and we do have some extremists within the culture. Many are judged and viewed and looked at as not safe, and not all extremists are not safe. Please know that there are limits to everything that we do. Many, many, many limits. As I was saying, I just wanted to give you guys an introduction to me and some of my thoughts. I'm going to be back a little later. And the reason I'm coming back a little later is I'm going to gather a few toys and things of that nature and come back to discuss them. And hopefully, I'll have a little bit more of a crowd and we can actually start discussing care bags. We're going to start from the basics. Then we're going to go to the wild stuff at another point in time. I'm Priest, and this was my introduction to you guys of myself. I am not the beginning nor the ending of what it is that we love. I am not the God, the ruler, the king, the queen, no form of royalty. I'm just a guy who loves something a little different than many others. What time is it? Looks like it's going on 9, so I'll try to see you guys again either tonight around 10, and if not, then I'll try to come back tomorrow and we can talk about some more stuff. Hopefully, I have more of a crowd and we can get to talking again. Everybody have a good night.